Dinah, what's happening?
Hi, I'm doing good. What about yourself?
I'm good. Well, your boy is stuck, feeling some type of way in this house, man.
I can't wait to get out of this house. I'm so excited. Where is like the first place that you're gonna go to when you like
No, where's the first place you're gonna go to when this is
um
all over and done with?
I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii so bad. I just want to feel the ocean so bad. I just want
hmm
to dip myself in the ocean. I would just want to be on the beach and just be sun-kissed all over. Um, that's what I just want a vacation. I just need to go.
First person that you would love to hug after this is all said and done with. Who's that?
My grandparents.
Me too.
Yes, you feel me? I mean, I have so many cousins too. Like they come like randomly because they're also super quarantined. But they
hmm
stopped coming around, and we've been really taking it even more serious. So with that, I just would love to hold my little nieces and my little cousins and just carry them, the little babies, so bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I was saying to someone, the first person, I love my grandmother, but the first person who I'm going to go hug and go see is my barber because your boy,
Speaking some truth right here.
because your boy is looking rough. You feel me?
You know what though? This is the perfect time for us to like rely on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like my sister just finished threading my eyebrows. She never thread. She's never threaded before. But
hmm
YouTube has like given us this outlet for us to like teach ourselves. I've been learning how to like do my own makeup, do I've never done my makeup or hair ever before.
Ever?
So spoiled over here. I'm just like glam is always with me, you know what I mean? So
hmm
this downtime has really like kicked me in the butt to like do things myself. I'm like, oh, you want to look cute today? Well, then do it yourself. You're gonna have to teach yourself. You know what I mean?
What else
So,
have you taught yourself, or what else have you learned about yourself while in self quarantine?
what have I learned about myself? Um,
Have you learned that
that,
you're impatient? You want things now? Like, what have you learned?
actually, I always known that about myself. Yeah, I'm very impatient.
Impatience.
So like me being locked up is making it worse. I mean, with that being said, I dropped 3 records during this quarantine. So I was like, I
hmm
have to get these songs out. Like, even though we're on this downtime, I still like I was still fighting for it. And I was like, I need new music. You know what I mean? I just wanted to feed
Absolutely.
my fans and just get it out of my hands, just so I don't have to keep this on replay by myself and keep teasing my fans.
hmm I was telling someone I feel like this is the best time that any artist should put out music when your fans are at home held captive so they can
Yes,
stream that junk over and over again so you can get them streamed so them checks come in.
right.
You feel me?
Stream is where it's at right now. So if any artist out there is like debating if you want to drop a record, I say do it. Just follow your gut, just do it. The time is now. Like everyone is on their phones, everyone is just like doing TikToks, everyone's engaged.
hmm
And like for me, I never thought I would do the Savage challenge, but I did it. And I was like, wow, it wasn't that hard as I thought.
It's on your TikTok.
Yes.
I swear that's all I see on TikTok and Instagram is the Savage Challenge. Did you see the one where they talk? Well, first of all, have you seen Tiger King?
No, I haven't.
Me, neither have I, but I've seen all the like Carol Baskin memes and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yes,
So
yes.
there's like a Savage challenge that like redoes it. I have to send you this video because it's the funniest thing ever. So it's like almost like the Carol Baskins challenge.
Please,
You
I
need
need
to
to
check that
maybe
out.
that's the next challenge. We need to keep this going. We need these kind of things to like keep us in good spirits, you know what I mean? Like music is like a great
hmm
distraction from the chaos. And I feel like even doing these challenges is like the perfect place for us to still see like, there's still another day that we're going to come through, but this is something that we can get our minds off.
100%. You mentioned earlier that you released 3 songs. How have the fans perceived the new music?
Oh my gosh, the reaction to my music has been just beyond. I've been so happy with the way they've been responding to it, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I envisioned, and this I want them to understand like this is where I'm heading towards, and this is who I am, and I hope they get the picture by now. I mean, I dropped like 9 songs already as a solo
Mm,
artist, and I'm like, you better get the picture now.
you guys gotta get it together.
Right. But the response has been so amazing. The reaction videos are beyond. They're just like, damn, I've never seen this side of you before. I never thought, like, if you didn't release these songs, I would have never thought there was this side to you. You know, talking about like being a little cheeky girl behind closed doors. Like, you would have never thought, you would have never expected that coming from someone as quiet as me. Now she's being open about it.
You know what's interesting when you talk about reaction videos and things like that, does it take you back, like when you're like surfing, going down the rabbit hole of YouTube and you see somebody doing a reaction video to your song? Like, how do you feel when you see stuff like that?
I mean, to me, that's just, it takes me back to when I was a little kid. Like, I would react to like Beyonce stuff or Mariah Carey's new records or whatnot. To see people do that to me, it is like, wow, girl, you really doing this. You know what I mean? There's people like overseas that are listening to my music, Puerto Rico, Australia, places, even places I've never been, like South Africa. Just seeing that music travels and it still resonates with people the way it did with me is such a blessing for me. And I just know how powerful music is, and it's just important for me to keep, you know, releasing for the people who, you know, want to hear music come like that I make.
Absolutely. How would you describe these new songs that you're putting out compared to prior songs that you've released?
I would say they're more sassy, they're more mature.
Yeah, because Mr. Spot is sassy as hell, by the way.
She said, go back, go back. I said I wasn't done. You ain't done till I tell you I'm done. And it's also just being so confident with these records. I'm just like telling people like, dude, own up to it. You know your worth. You are that person. I would cuss on here, but I'm not going to. You are that dominant person, and believe in it.
That's amazing. So how do you come to that conclusion? Like when you're writing a song, right? How do you get to that mindset to write something like that? Or do you journal?
I journal. I actually do journal a lot. And so when I journal, I actually bring it with me to sessions, and I'll just like not scroll, phones. I would just like flip through the pages, and I'm like, oh wow. And I would have doodles, and the ones that I would doodle on, I was like, those are the ones that stood out to me the most, because I wasn't really writing. I was just like scribbling around. And so those to me stand out, and I'm like, oh, I need to use that idea. Because that stood out to me. That idea stood out to me. I think it also just comes from, I've always mentioned her, Miss Jane. Miss Jane is someone that is my alter ego, is someone who I tap into when I'm in the studio. I just feel like this power just overcome me, and I'm like, oh wow, I never thought this much confidence would kick my butt right now at this time of hour. But the moment I'm just collaborating with writers and producers, there's just topics, a lot of so many ideas just like hit me right there in the moment, and I marry it, and I'm like, dude, that's a sign. Go with it. Go with your gut. Even when it comes to like my first melodies, I love melodies. So when it comes to my melodies, I'm like, don't overthink it. Whatever first comes to your mind, just run with it. Because if you overthink it, then you missed your shot on like something great.
Right. Do you ever feel like when you do something, you're not happy with it, you leave and you come back to it and you finish it? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, that's actually happened to me. Even with Mr. Spot, that happened with Mr. Spot. So in Mr. Spot, the second verse was more like the first verse, the melody. And so I just kept sitting on it, and they're like, okay, so we want to finalize Mr. Spot. Are you ready for it? And months go by, and I'm like, I'm not really happy. I mean, I'm happy with it, but I feel like we can take it to the next level. Right. So my little sister and my sister writes, and she was like, I think you can top it. Let's see, like, if you can push it a little more. So I was sitting here on my bed, and I was just like running through the second verse over and over. And the first melody that came to mind is the melody that I'm using right now for Mrs. Spot. But it's always so fun. It's such a fun creative process. You want those moments where you are kind of doubting yourself, because at least you're thinking, at least your heart's in it, and you're actually invested into the song.
That's really interesting, because I always wonder, like, because I feel like writing a song is probably the hardest process ever. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of situations you got to go to like a place to like get that, not necessarily hurt, but that emotion. And I think that is the hardest thing ever. So it's a gift when someone can just sit there and belt out a song. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like to hear the melodies and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Go ahead. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, when it comes to emotion and whatnot, the most difficult song that I've ever written was this song called Fix It. It was the most personal for me just because I've never been the type to, you know, throw my dirty laundry out there about things that I go through. And so it was just weighing heavy on my heart, on my mind, because it was something I was struggling with for years. You know, I come from a big family. And so, you know, I'm not one to spill my family tea, but, you know,
Yeah, because we like to keep it all in the family.
Right. You keep that sealed.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember walking to the studio, and it took me 3 days to complete this song. I walked in with a heavy heart and heavy mind of this topic, and I couldn't help but just like cry the moment someone was like, "Hey, are you good? So what do you want to write about today?" And I just started bawling. I just started crying, and I was like, they're like, "Yo, we need to get this out." And like, this is your safe place. And I love to feel that when someone can invite me in and be like, this is home. Make this that space for you. And so feel free to speak from your heart, and none of this will go anywhere. You just need, it's therapy basically. So
I was gonna ask, do you think your studio is therapeutic, you being in the studio?
Most definitely. Like I said, I'm so naturally quiet. I'm the type who just waves hi. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. Yeah, peace, deuce. And when you want to dig deeper with me, you'll catch that in the studio. That's where you catch the real me. Because that's the best place to release all my emotions when the music hits.
Wow, that's really interesting.
It's so weird. I can barely speak to my sisters about anything that I go through. But when it comes to me and my little sister writing music, I feel like that's so easy for me to just tell her my story, like what I'm going through personally.
Why do you feel like that you can't speak to them, but when it comes to like writing a song, you're able to just like write it all down? Do you not
I
like
don't
the
know.
confrontation of it all?
I don't know. I'm more the type that just likes to sing it than say it. It's so weird. It's so weird. It was such a thing for me growing up. Like when I would go to church, during church when I was a kid, they would tell me to go up and speak and just be like, oh, just like say your testimony or whatever. And I would just cry, and my grandma was just like, okay, just sing. The moment she told me to sing, my eyes opened wide open. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I acted like no one was there. The tears disappeared. I don't know, it's just been something for me ever since I was little. Maybe that's something I probably got to work on. Just say it, not sing it.
I mean, listen, whatever works. You know what I'm saying? Whatever works.
Yeah.
So are you back? Are you in LA right now?
Yes, well, technically Orange I'm from.
How is it being there while, dealing with all of this right now?
I was already naturally a home. And so I do love the family time that I'm spending with my siblings. There's like so many of us. There's like 8, maybe there won't be 9 of us. And being that there's so many of us, there's never a dull moment. So we've been like pranking my dad, pranking each other, watching movies, and family is just such a priority for me and for us, all of us. And yeah, I would say like during this time, it's so important for me to get to know my siblings a little deeper because I've been traveling so much, and this is the most they've seen me since I was like 15. Because 15 is when I took my first tour. And so now being 22, fast forward 8 years later, they're like, wow, this is the most I've seen you. Like you missed out on so many football games, on my talent show and whatnot. So they're so happy with the quality time we're spending all together.
Are they low key getting on your nerves? Because like we can love family, but
right. I mean, that's why I lock myself up in my room sometimes. Okay, I don't want to hate each other at this downtime. So
exactly.
we give each other that space like already. So we all go to our rooms when it's time, like we want downtime. Even simply by me like just going live with my fans, like to me that's downtime for myself because that's I want to separate myself from my family just a little bit here and there, just so like there's not much confrontation because you can easily just start being annoyed. Like my little sister just wants to play with my hair constantly. I'm like, stop, just stop touching me.
Leave me alone. Exactly.
Yes. I mean, that's gonna happen. Look at how much time we have together, you know what I mean? So there are pros and cons, but at the same time, there's more good to it than anything.
I love that you're using this time to like reconnect like with fans and also family and things like that. I think that's what we should use this time for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so important for that. I mean, even downtime for yourself. Um, I realized that we've all been heavily distracted by like work, by like workouts or like our usual routines. I don't
Hmm.
think we ever took the quality time to sit ourselves down and be like, who are you? Like, what are you going through? Like, what have I missed out on you? Although you've been like fixing everyone else, what can we fix here first?
Absolutely. So tell us before we go, what's next? What can we expect coming up next?
Well, being that this pandemic was unexpected and no one was prepared for it,
Hmm.
um, I would say like I've been stuck in my room just playing my songs, all like my whole catalog over and over. And so I've been contemplating almost about for like a couple days about dropping an album. And so I'm kind of in the mix of that. I just dropped like 3 records and I'm like at the point where I just want to just get this all off my chest and give to the people just because like music is what people want to hear right now. Like that's
Hmm.
kind of like a great distraction right now from everything, from all the chaos.
It's so funny because it's your distraction, but it also is the fans' distraction. So
Exactly.
it's like
It's
one
both
big
ways.
circle.
Yes,
Right.
the whole like little cycle going
Well, I appreciate you locking
on.
yourself in your room and chatting with us. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. You can keep me locked up in here as long as you want, girl. But
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. I
Of course.
appreciate this so much.